That's what motivates me, and that's what I think is deep in everyone, is a reverence for the things of the past that feed us now and continue on through us.
Our kupuna, our mana, our connection to the land. And when they desecrate their iwi, they take so much out of me.
If we truly want to be Hawaiian, there's no choice. The integrity of our culture identity is so important, it's so central, that we cannot really be, in a sense, Hawaiian without this understanding of this kula iwi.
We are the living descendants of the iwi kupuna, of our families that went on before us. Ola Na Iwi, the bones live, the mana of our ancestors lives. When I think about iwi kupuna and the fact that my ohana is kanu over here, essentially planted to become that which will sustain not only me, but the generations ahead.
So these are places which hold great significance for our people and really are the most important places that need to be protected. If we maintain the honoring of these places, to me it maintains the highest integrity of our culture.
My first real understanding of desecration started with Honokahua. That was horrible, that was horrific. There were iwi kupuna were just exposed.
No one had ever stood up for the unmarked burials. No one knew about it. See, that's one of the things that Honokahua changed, was the awareness of the fact that many of our ancestral burials are unmarked and therefore not visible. And because they're not visible, when they're encountered, they remain invisible, as it were, because no one is there to care for them. There are no laws to protect them. And Honokahua changed that, and it did so in dramatic fashion.
Unfortunately, that had to happen for, the kind of awareness that's got us to the point of actually providing more protection under our historic preservation law.
I was very proud of the law when it passed, and for many years, because I knew that Hawaii had the strongest law for protecting burials. It was not just for Native Hawaiian burials. It was for all burials, 50 years old and older, not in a known, maintained, actively used cemetery.
So the historic preservation review process ultimately requires a determination of whether or not there's going to be an impact or an effect on historic properties or burial sites. And that may require an archaeological inventory survey to be done of the area that may be impacted by the project.
The archaeological inventory survey is the instrument that we use to move forward to protect our iwi kupuna.
Developers have to understand that if they don't do it right, they're going to end up in court, and I'm going to make sure that that happens. I think that's my obligation. It's not just my obligation as an attorney, as the executive director of the Native Hawaiian Legal Corporation. It's my obligation as a Hawaiian.
In the 21st century, you have the technology and the wherewithal to come up with designs that integrate areas for iwi kupuna to remain a final resting place and still provide something useful for today's context. There's no reason why you can't do it. So when I think about my role as the current chair of the council, it is my job to speak up on behalf of iwi kupuna that will turn up here on this island. It is not my job to be an opponent to development. It is not my job to try to cheat our own people living in today out of jobs that provide sustenance.
I am responsible for making sure they continue to hold significance, that they breathe, that they live, that they are what they're supposed to be for us as Hawaiians.
The more active we are in honoring our kupuna, the more active we are in trying to make sure that the sacredness, the sanctity, and the kapu of these places, and exactly the mana of our kupuna live on, the more mana that we get.
Desecration is bad in any language. On any lands, desecration should not be happening.
My message to our lahui when it comes to the topic of iwi kupuna is to have that aloha within your mind and your heart always for your makua, your kupuna, and all those who have gone before.
You know, the more we protect our burials in place, the more we protect our own sovereignty.